Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy Courtney here at the Black Dad Chronicles. And the streets is on fire right now. The streets is on fire. Now, way back in episode 1, I told y'all about my support for Lavar Ball, who is the father of projected number 2 overall pick, projected top 2 pick, Lonzo Ball. His dad is going around, in the media and on social media making wild, crazy statements, like he's better than Jordan. His son is better than Steph Curry, blah, blah, blah. So the Balls caught heat. LeVar regularly catches heat because of the outlandish and brash things he say. But the family really caught heat because they turned down endorsement deals, with Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour. Those are the top 3 shoe companies in the marketplace. So then it came out that all 3 of those companies were uninterested in doing and signing Lonzo. And most people thought that it's because of his father. And, to an extent, it was, and it is. But, most people say that as a negative. Now, look, I have been a supporter of LeVar Ball. A lot of people, I know I've had many conversations with, my friends, Meech in particular, that say, oh, man, all he's doing is exploiting his kids, man. He a loudmouth, blah, 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 So to that I say, what about setting up a company where your kids are going to eat, your family is going to live off of, and owning your own business is exploitive? LeVar Ball is teaching his kids how to be entrepreneurs. LeVar Ball is trying to set up his family so they can eat. Yeah, is it off the back of his son's athletic talents? Sure. But you know what? If you've seen his kids, Lonzo is quiet, seems quiet. Now, I don't follow the kids on social media, but they seem like quiet, reserved kids, all 3 of them, So they had to have somebody, loud as a shock to the system. So I just read an article on Medium, a blog post by Ibong Eka, who's a CPA, small business contributor on MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, and the Huff Post. He's also the author of Start Me Up, which is, what is it? Start Me Up. That's the name of his book. The No Business Plan is published by Career Press. So his blog post states that LeVar Ball will be to the athletic apparel industry like Amazon, Netflix was to the cable television industry. Now, you see the big impact that Amazon Prime, with the movies and the TV shows, and Netflix especially, along with Hulu, how they've disrupted the cable industry. More and more people are cutting the cord moving away from cable. Next month, my family will be doing it. Finally, But LeVar Ball, nobody has ever walked into Nike or Reebok or Adidas or Converse or Dada and said, I don't want to just wear your shoes. I don't just want to wear your clothing. I want to be equal partners. When you think about guys if you think about guys in the marketplace right now that can say that, especially basketball players, there's only 3 that come to mind. Michael Jordan, he's the original, the GOAT. Michael Jordan, was able to leverage Nike into his off-brand, which is Jumpman, and it's still a Nike company. It's still under the Nike brand, but it's an offshoot. It's a subsidiary of Nike. And I'm not sure if Michael Jordan has equity in Nike. I haven't looked into the financials. LeBron James also. I was kind of, when LeBron James was, his sneaker deal with Nike was up about 2 years ago. And I was hoping that LeBron James, with all his fame, everything he does outside of basketball, his other endorsements, would have sat down with his team and said, you know what? Instead of re-signing it with Nike, let's not build our own company. LeBron James can start his own shoe company and people would still buy those shoes because he's LeBron James. And I don't doubt that LeBron James could, has the power or could get the people behind him to design a really good looking sneaker that works. Because look, man, all these sneakers are built in the exact same place, China. So regardless of how much you pay for your Jordans, if you pay $100, $150, $200 for your Jordans, your Reeboks, you know what I'm saying, the Adidas, you know what I'm saying, they all made in China. And guess what? It takes on average probably between $20 to $37 to make that shoe. So if it's only taking $35 to make a shoe, look at the markup they're getting. So why are we punishing LeVar and admonishing LeVar Ball for betting on himself, and not only betting on himself, but betting on his kids who he's seen put in the hard work to get this taken care of? Look, man, we don't know if Lonzo Ball is going to go to the NBA and be a superstar. We don't. But somebody had to do it. And LeVar Ball says, why not me? Look, man, most people don't, especially, sorry, I just lowered my chair, but most normal people don't just go making wild statements like that and then doing press tours, to back it up. I'm pretty sure this ain't just LeVar Ball out here talking crazy. I'm pretty sure LeVar Ball has a plan, and he stated that he's had a plan. People was, he said he won $1 billion from the shoe companies. Why not? Why not? Back in episode 1, I stated that I believe what LeVar Ball should do is walk up in the Nike, walk up in the Adidas, walk up in the Under Armour. Oh, and Steph Curry, for how... Now, look, man, I ain't going to get on Steph Curry and say he got the ugliest shoes out there, because I've seen uglier hoop shoes. But guess what? Steph Curry got equity in Under Armour. So that's more of a business partnership than, just being an Under Armour endorser. Because if you look at, Brandon Jennings also has equity in Under Armour. And Brandon Jennings was Under Armour's first ever, pro basketball endorser. And he stated that he has equity, he has stock in Under Armour, just like Steph Curry. That's more along the lines of a business partnership than just, boss employee, And back in episode 1, I said what LeVar Ball should do is walk up to the sneaker companies and say, look, we'll do a deal. You got to license my logo for me. You know what I'm saying? You see the triple B's on the shirts. You see the triple B's on the hats. You got to license Big Baller Brand. But they don't want to do it. You want to know why? Because that doesn't give them total control. And kudos to LeVar Ball for wanting to run his own business. At the end of the day, he's a businessman. He's being a businessman. I think he's being a pretty shrewd one. So, Steph Marbury. What does Steph Marbury do? Back in 2006, Steph Marbury partnered with Stephen Barry's, it's defunct. Now, I used to go there all the time because they had cheap college apparel and stuff like that. But I also copped a pair of Starburys for $15. You want to know why? Because all I was doing is hooping in them. I used to buy cheap shoes all the time. Hey, I was the king of and ones, I always used to buy cheap shoes to hoop in because I felt like, a lot of times they were the best. But what Steph Marbury did was he partnered with Stephen Barry's and sold his shoes, the Starbury 1, the Starbury 2. I think it went to Model 3 before they, closed down, for $15. $15 for a good quality shoe is damn good. So now, what has Steph Marbury done? What else has Steph Marbury done? Steph Marbury has been playing basketball over in China for, I believe, the last 4 years. Steph Marbury went to the shoe companies in China because he has the resources over there to produce the shoes on a mass scale. Want to know why? Because most shoes, pretty much all the shoes you can think of, maybe except for New Balance. I think New Balance is, in the USA. But all shoes are basically they're made in China. You see made in China on the tag. So when Steph Marbury was playing over there, he realized that he had the resource to make hundreds of thousands upon millions of dollars selling his shoe at $10, not even at $15, at $10. And you know what? Steph Marbury's play on the court backed it up over there. Steph Marbury is I believe 2 or 3 time Chinese league MVP. So you know people are going to be buying his shoes. And if you know anything about China, China is sneaker crazy. They got a statue of Kobe Bryant over there because Kobe and Nike are over there all the time, and Kobe and basketball is so big over in China right now. But Marbury went over there and made millions of dollars selling his shoe for $10. So why not? So, and this is, and I'm speaking of, right now I'm about to speak to black people right now. I'm about to speak to my people. So we celebrate, all of our celebrities. We celebrate the rappers in the hood that, went out and got a deal. You know what I'm saying? We celebrate, the people out there that started their own business, be it a restaurant, cleaning company, We like to celebrate people in our community that's done that's done good. But why, when LaVar Ball comes along and says, yo, I don't want just an endorser-endorsee relationship. I want equal partnership. You want to know why? Because I have a company. My sons already have the brand. My sons are the brand. So I want you to license that from me to use, and we can have an equal partnership. Why, when LaVar Ball says, I want my sons to have ownership of it, I want my sons to come in the league. Nobody in the league has come in with their own brand. Nobody. Ever. Nobody. Lonzo Ball is coming into the NBA. Ain't even been drafted yet. But regardless if he's the number 1 pick, number 2 pick, number 3 pick, I don't see him falling past number 3, depending on who gets the top 3 picks. We haven't had the lotteries next week, but depending on who gets the top 3 picks, he's not falling out of that top 3. So Lonzo Ball is going to come into the NBA not having to worry about a shoe deal, not having to worry about, trying to get that shoe money. Because he's, let's be honest. They selling the shoes at, $495. That's ridiculous. The shoes look fire. I think the shoes look fire. If there's $120, I would have been online buying a pair now. I would have been online buying a pair last night. But I ain't gonna spend. My wife ain't gonna like that. She ain't gonna like that. My wife wouldn't like that. I wouldn't be able to come home for 2 months if I spent $500 on a pair of shoes. Especially because I don't hoop like I used to no more. Now, if I was hooping on a regular basis, I still wouldn't pay $500 for some shoes. But I would, I just like the last pair of shoes I got was some Dame Lillards. $120 Adidas, mad comfortable. They hug my foot, all that. But guess what? Big Baller Brand is a black-owned company. And we always talk about support black business. Now, I will say, the apparel on the website is way too overpriced. Like, he has, like I said, the sneakers are $495. Then he has a special edition of the sneakers. That's $990. He got slides on the website for $220. Brother, LaVar Ball, I love you. I appreciate what you're doing. I support what you're doing. I stand behind what you're doing. If it was up to me, I'd give you Father of the Year right now. And I feel like I'm an excellent father. But I would give you Father. You gotta lower them prices, bro. Gotta lower those prices. Because it makes no point. It makes no sense if kids see Lonzo balling out. Say Lonzo gets to the league and he balls out. Well, guess what? LiAngelo, we know it's probably going to be a one and done at UCLA. LaVar has said it. Now, if you look at most scouting publications, actually rank LiAngelo as the lowest of the. I believe UCLA has 6 recruits coming into class. He's the lowest ranked, but he goes into the league, and Lonzo sets the league on fire. Guess what? LiAngelo's coming right behind him, and guess what? He's gonna be wearing the shoes too, or he's probably gonna have his own. Then you got Lil LaMelo, who probably won't make it to the league for another 3 years. And he's supposed to be the best one of the bunch. Already. Supposed to be the best one of the bunch. Imagine if, when he gets to the NBA, Lonzo is an established star. Then you got maybe LiAngelo is, marginal, maybe a role player, you know what I'm saying? And LaMelo comes in, like I said, people think he's going to be the best one of the bunch. He's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. This is hypothetical, but just say he's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. You think at that point, with 2 sons in the NBA that's already successful and the shoes selling, Nike ain't gonna come up to their door like, "Hey, LeVar, let's talk." Adidas ain't gonna come up to "Hey, LeVar, let's talk." Under Armour, whose president did just catch some flack because he's a Trump supporter, you know what I'm saying? You think they ain't gonna be like, "Hey, LeVar, let's talk"? And I actually think Under Armour, because Under Armour already disrupted the shoe industry. I think if out of all of the big sneaker companies, it'll probably be Under Armour that comes knocking on the door first. Look, man, LeVar, like I said, you gotta lower the prices on that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta lower the prices on the shoes, because it makes no sense. Like I was saying, it makes no sense if Lonzo gets to the league and balls out, and kids see him balling out, and they're like, "Mom, yo, you see here? I want them Lonzos." You know what I'm saying? I think they call the ZO Prime or something like that, the ZO2 Prime, something like that. Like, "Yo, Mom, I want them Lonzos. Can you give me them Lonzos? Dad, you know what I want for my birthday? I want them Lonzo Ball sneakers." You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Parents, if Lonzo gets to the league and balls out, kids are going to notice. And kids are going to want that shoe. And like I said, I think the shoe is hot. They remind me of Kobe's. You know what I'm saying? I think the shoe is hot. They way better looking than the Steph Currys. You know what I'm saying? And Steph is one of the more popular dudes in the league. They look better than Paul George shoes. And I think Paul George shoes look dope. You know what I'm saying? I think Paul George shoes look dope, but they look better than Paul George shoes. You know what I'm saying? They look better than some past LeBrons. You know what I'm saying? LeBron always ain't had the best looking shoe out there. He's had some ducks, But listen, I want to take some time right now to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for all the feedback I got on the last episode, the podcast I did with my wife. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the love, the downloads that y'all been giving me. I just ask that for everybody who's, liked and downloaded the podcast, just go to iTunes. If you got an iPhone, go to iTunes, throw me a like up there, throw me a nice little rating, 5 stars. Give me a review. That helps, that helps me get seen by, Apple, and it helps me, in the new and exciting new podcast category or whatever. So I want to thank you guys for, all the support. And at this time, I want to thank my sponsor. I got 2 sponsors. The same 2 sponsors have been rocking with me for, since the first week. Well, since episode 2. The first one, Relax by J Mace. Fellas, ladies, you're in the market for some jewelry, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. And let's be honest. If you get a gold chain, you get a silver bracelet, white gold, rose gold, whatever. It's going to look the same as every other bracelet. There's nothing new out there. Why not save some money and get you a custom-made beaded bracelet from Relax by J Mace? My homeboy Johnny puts the time in to create custom creations, whatever you want, colors. If you got something that you want to match it to, he'll match it. Does earrings, bracelets. I'm trying to get a beaded necklace from him. I'm trying. Yo, Johnny, man, let me know where that's at, man. I want the beaded necklace. But, relax. The last one I got from him was fire. He got the two dragon heads with the glowing balls, man. It's just like, it looks like it's two dragons, fighting each other. So, I want to thank, Relax by J Mace for rocking with me from the beginning. And also, Cake Couture, Cakeries and Sweets. If you're looking for a cake, chocolate covered strawberries, cupcakes, peach cobbler. Look, we got Memorial Day coming up soon. We got the 4th of July coming up soon, and the summer coming up. So, everybody and their mama going to be having picnics, family reunions, cookouts. Now, the one thing that often gets overlooked in these events is the dessert. Because people would just, run to Meijer or Walmart or the supermarket and grab like one of the cakes and stuff from there. The cakes that's been made with all types of crap in it. You got all types of preservatives, added to the mix. And don't get me started on the buttercream because, they don't use real butter in the buttercream. I know. I make damn good buttercream. And I've researched it. But you got to hit up Couture Cakery. Cake Couture. Customize anything you want from weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, corporate events, or just to say I love you. Hit her up at www.couturecakery.com. Check out the menu. Place your order now. She'll get it to you fast. No BS. All right, now. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is my first experience with a live podcast. I don't even know how to check, the stats or anything. If anybody's listening. I don't know if anybody's listening right now. But if anybody's listening right now, just hit me up on the Facebook page. I know that... what was I about to say? Oh, so I know that, it's going to be published anyway. So, but here's the thing. Back to the Ball family, and I'm about to wrap this up soon. Support black business. That's what it's all about. The two companies that I just gave you, my two sponsors of the show, black businesses. Support black businesses. A lot of people in our community are always champion, support black business. The new thing is bank black. You know what I'm saying? Support black banks. How about we support a black dad trying to build a company for his family so his kids don't have to be workers. You know what I'm saying? So his kids ain't got to run to nobody when they want to make a creative decision. They could just make the creative decision on their own. Why not support a black man trying to make sure his family eats for generations? That's one thing I can get behind. So, hey, Lavar Ball, I ain't even going to ask for no big baller brand apparel if you listen to this, or if this happens to come by you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just appreciate everything you're doing. One dad to another. You've inspired me to, try to look at things differently as far as building a brand for my kids. Because look, man, some people like to say it's no bad publicity. Lavar Ball, you ain't heard. The only thing that you've heard of this guy doing is, jumping into the locker room during one of his kids' game, and he ain't the coach. You ain't heard nothing about him breaking no laws. You ain't heard about him, being a bad neighbor. You haven't heard anything about him being a bad father. You know what I'm saying? From the news, the Ball family are all upstanding citizens. The only thing this man has done is tried to promote his brand, and he's been loud about it. But people don't like a black man that's a loudmouth. To be honest, society doesn't like that. Society already thinks that we're big. All of us are big and scary. You know what I'm saying? But people don't like it how he's, big and brash. And Marbury has some advice for him. But shout out to Steph Marbury. He was the first one to come along to do it. Bet on yourself. Because guess what? A lot of times you're not going to find anybody to bet on you. So you got to bet on yourself. And that's what Lavar Ball and the Triple B Big Baller brand is doing. I want to thank everybody for listening. You can follow the show on iTunes. Just go to iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Google Play, Pocket Cast. Yo, if you're on Android, if you're looking for a podcast app, get you Pocket Cast, man. I've been rocking with Pocket Cast probably for like 2 years. It's hands down the best podcast app I've ever used. So, just go ahead and support the show. I want to thank you so much. You can find me at the Black Dad Chronicles Facebook page on Facebook. You can find the Instagram at Black Dad Chronicles on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm at Black Dad Chron, just because Chronicles wouldn't fit as my Twitter handle. And if you got any suggestions, any comments, you want to send me some love, shoot me an email. If you know a black dad who I can interview on my show, get on the show to tell their story about fatherhood, shoot me an email at blackdadchron at gmail.com. Once again, I want to thank everybody for the love and support that you've given me over the last 2 months that I've been podcasting. Until next time, kids, peace.